What's up, guys? Maidenslave here, and I would like to invite you to join me in further dissecting Bruce Dickinson's first few hunk of shit solo albums. The last time we talked about, obviously, the legendary Tattooed Millionaire, it was fucking garbage. And I mentioned in that review that to not worry, it only gets better from here, but it happens slowly. It's kind of like evolution, right? Okay, so Balls to Picasso is Bruce Dickinson's next attempt at a solo album, and unlike Tattooed Millionaire, it is his, kind of first, I guess you would say attempt, try, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He kind of goes alternative. He changes up pretty much everything, and this was his first official album to come out after leaving Iron Maiden, kind of as a solo artist. Although he was working on it while he was still in Iron Maiden, which kind of adds more to the point that I was talking about, that he didn't want to be in Maiden, whatever. So, Balls to Picasso is, like I said, a lot different than Tattooed. He kind of met up. He tried a few different bands and a few different producers, but he eventually decided on Roy Z, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know about by now. And maybe some of you are surprised that Roy Z actually worked on this album, but he did. And he hooked up with Roy Z and Roy Z's band called Tribe of Gypsies, and all of them got together and wrote music and put an album together, right? So how is it? Well, first of all, it's not nearly as bad as that mess, Tattooed Millionaire, but it's kind of its own type of bad. Yeah, okay. The artwork, let's talk a little bit about that. The artwork is... So as I said, Bruce was going for an alternative thing, so the artwork is kind of just chill, I guess you could say. It's kind of just him chilling, and then he has the little logo, Balls to Picasso, and the title is Balls to Picasso because, he was kind of going through I'm an artist phase, or whatever you want to call it, so, just kind of like, oh, Balls to Picasso, Picasso was a great artist, and I'm a great artist too, right? Well, the album's not that bad. First off, right off the bat, the album is a lot heavier than Tattooed Millionaire. The guitar sound is a lot heavier, and Bruce's vocal performance isn't garbage on this album, believe it or not. The production's a lot better than the last album. So let's get into this motherfucker. It starts out with a song called Cyclops, and this song kind of perfectly opens up the album. It completely sets the mood and the atmosphere that you are going to get for this entire album. It is not, first of all, it's not metal. It has nothing to do with Iron Maiden. It was made and meant to be taken for what it is. So let's do that, okay? Cyclops is not a bad song. It's kind of a jam. It's slower paced, and it's kind of like a kind of fusion music. Except a little bit slower, really heavy guitars, but still kind of a jam, kind of a picking the bass type thing, which I like. I actually like the song a lot, and the song is about, it's not about a Cyclops. It's a clever title about the further, I guess you could say, perversion with cameras and everything being filmed. When this album came out in 1994, that's when this whole reality TV thing kind of started to take off with the real world. They started filming everything. So, Bruce kind of predicted that the future would be everything is going to be shot on a camera. And the funny thing is that's true. Like, they're filming everything nowadays. Like, there's shows about cooking, there's shows about fucking fishing, there's shows about everything now. Everybody's always on camera. It's always reality TV. And, and it's kind of a funny little interesting thing, and I did kind of mention on Blaze Bayley's Silicon Messiah how Silicon Messiah was about all of us being eventually slaves to this Messiah, which is technology. Well, everybody's behind a camera now, and that's what Cyclops is about. It's a really clever title, and it is a really good song. It has really good vocal performance, delivered really well, the band plays really well, and it's just kind of a mood setter. It sets a good mood for the album, and I guess some people would probably say it's a little bit too long, but it doesn't feel long. It doesn't drag on. It actually kind of works all the way until the end. Really good choruses as well. So, here we go. You know, we're off to a good start, right? Good. Now, the second song is called Hell No. And, yeah, Hell No. The song's not good. It is a skip at best. It has a very bad intro. Nothing great. It's just nothing great. Kind of reminiscent of some of the bad stuff that he was doing before. Kind of sounds like they didn't spend too much time on the music itself. Yeah. Next on the album is a song called Gods of War, which sounds very metal, but it's not. It has an interesting intro, however. But at the end of the day, it kind of just drags on, and it is another skip. This album, as a full album, is not strong, but it's not extremely terrible. Anyways, moving on. 1,000 Points of Light has a badass fucking riff to open it. Very heavy, and it has pretty good riffs throughout the entire song. But it is very reminiscent of his tattoo days. He does get a little bit too growly. It's kind of excessive on this song. So I would say skip this song as well. The next song on the album is a song called Laughing in the Hiding Bush. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are very familiar with that because it is actually one of his more popular songs. And a little interesting thing to note about Laughing in the Hiding Bush is Bruce admitted himself that he had always wished that he named this album Laughing in the Hiding Bush. He thought that it would have been a better name, and it would have been a better title to the album. There would have been a title track. There's not a title track on this album. And Balls to Picasso is just kind of like, it's, I don't know, it's just kind of random. And, balls. Like, this album sounds like balls. That's what a lot of people kind of get that vibe from. But Laughing in the Hiding Bush is not a bad song, and for me it does foreshadow the kind of style that him and Roy Z would take on later with Accident of Birth and Chemical Wedding and so on. And it's not a bad song. A lot of people like it, but personally, my preference is I don't really like it. It's kind of boring. The whole thing is kind of the same. It's a little bit too slow paced, and I don't like the riff. But that's my personal opinion. I will say that it is a strong song, though. Right? Yeah. Okay. Next song on the album is called Change of Heart. And it actually is one of my favorite songs on the album. And it's one of those songs that I kind of like, I don't know, for a different reason. Kind of like the Wasting Love thing. I guess it's a love song. And it has a really good vocal performance. But it has, I don't know, there's moments of it, like the chorus is really, really generic. But I don't know, it's kind of cheesy. But, I guess it's one of the stronger moments in the album. It's one of my kind of personal favorite moments on the album. It has a really good kind of soft, open, not distorted, I guess you want to say, guitar interlude with, Roy Z and the other guys in the band, kind of just slowing it down a little bit. And it's a nice song. I like it. Good song. Good song. Next song on the album is a song called Shoot All the Clowns. And this song is, once again, very reminiscent to what Bruce was doing kind of recently. In that it is kind of a joke song. It has a really bad vocal performance. It's kind of just funny at best. But for the most part, it is garbage. And I would highly advise all of you guys to stay away from it. Next song on the album is called Fire. And this song has a fucking really, really, really cool intro. Really good, heavy fucking riff. But it's a boring song. After that badass fucking heavy riff, it just kind of just melts. I just kind of thought of that right now. I guess it's kind of a funny little correlation. Fire, and it melts. It kind of just turns into nothing. Let's just say, folks, that the fire is dead by the end of the song. Anyways, fucking moving on to Sacred Cowboys. Now, I want to first off say that the riff in this song is one of the coolest guitar riffs I've ever heard in my whole life. It is fucking badass. However, when a lot of people listen to this song, especially nowadays, they just kind of laugh at it. And the reason why they kind of laugh at it is because the whole first kind of part, you know, the first few choruses is Bruce, I guess you would say, attempting to rap. It is a bit of a rap with a really cool riff behind it, and a lot of people get turned off by it. And I will admit that, yeah, technically it is a bad song, but there's something about it that I like, and I just don't know why, but I like to listen to it. Every time I go through this album, it's one of my favorite moments, and I'll even take it off this album, put it on a playlist. That's a really, really good, really good chorus in it. But most people get turned off by the whole rapping thing, but I like it. I don't know. And the last song on the album is a song that I'm sure none of you guys have heard. It's called Tears of the Dragon. Very unknown song. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody fucking knows about the song. That song is amazing. And for me, it kind of does to this album what Fear the Dark does for Fear the Dark. It kind of saves it. It makes it stick out because it's such a good song. Most people don't even know that it's on this album, and they get surprised whenever I tell them that it is on this album. Because it is a really good song, and it's definitely a staple in his live set, when he ever plays live. But it is a really good song. Starts out really slow. I like the lyrics in it, and the lyrics are universal, but they are personal. They are about kind of being caught up in a relationship, but you want to get out of it, but you're kind of scared, but you're ready to to let these, you know, kind of new waves of life. You know, the walls that you build up, once again, I'm talking about this again, but the walls that you build up are crumbling, and the waves are washing over you, and the waves are, you know, kind of a new life, and it's very relatable, it's very universal for people that are going through this in their, you know, relationships with people. But personally for him, it was about leaving Iron Maiden, and this was one of the songs that he wrote before he left Iron Maiden. But yeah, whatever. So, okay, Boss Picasso is a lot better than Tattooed Millionaire. However, it is still a very subpar album overall, as a kind of a thing. But yeah, I guess there's about 5 kind of memorable songs on it. And, you know, Here's the Dragon obviously is fucking amazing. Not as bad, but, you know, kind of getting a little bit better. So I'm going to give Balls to Picasso by Bruce Dickinson a 5 out of 10.